So tonight we're looking at my next deal that I got. So I'm going to start doing these videos every time I get these crazy deals, just because of the fact I want to show you guys there's a lot of this stuff available to be had. And I don't even do this full time anymore. It's not like I'm sitting clicking like I used to. I used to do that. I used to have my whole life set up to where I had a screen in front of me. Even in my car, I had a screen right in my field of view so I didn't have to look away from the road, and I was always looking for a deal. Always. If I was gaming on my computer over here, I had another screen right there. Deals. I don't even do that anymore. I think I check on a normal work day. I don't even check, but sometimes if I have time on a work day, I'll check like once every couple of hours. But not even that. Usually I'm just on the weekend. Usually I only have time to check on the weekend. So this, it just happens to, it's kind of a coincidence that my last two deals have both been monitors. Deals can be anything. It can be a laptop, it can be a monitor, it can be a video card, it can be any number of things. Recently, this seems to happen. Every so often, I'll get a ton of deals on monitors. I don't know why. This particular deal cycle, though, has been a little different. This particular set of monitor deals have been really rather modern. Typically I'll find smoking deals on like 2-generation old 4K IPS panels, and I'll get them for like $50 or something. Whereas this set of deals has been modern monitors that are like, like the one I have here tonight was like an $800 monitor. The last one I got was like a $1,300 monitor, and I'm getting them for, half or 1/4 of what they're worth. So kind of a different, higher total dollar value on newer monitors, but as good or better of a deal as far as percentage discount versus what it's worth. So for what it's worth. Now that I have more money, I can do that because I can tolerate higher total dollar values. The deals are the same, but the total dollar is higher, but the actual, like, what do you want to call it? Percentage of the deal, how good the deal is as good or better. So maybe I just wasn't watching for that stuff as much in the past. I don't know. I didn't really have the money for this stuff as much, but in any case, let's get into it. So what we have here is a Dell U3223QE on Dell.com. Oh, and what this is a 32-inch 4K IPS. Dell calls it something IPS black. Apparently, it's like 20 or 30% darker black. I guess it's got double the contrast ratio of normal IPS. So the blacks they're not as good as OLED, but they're quite a bit better than a normal IPS. So it's an IPS. This is not a gaming monitor. This is a 60 hertz. This is the type of monitor that you get for doing photo editing, video editing, a very, very high quality, movie screen, high quality, just daily productivity tasks, stuff like that. Stuff where color is important. It's got fairly accurate colors, that kind of stuff. As far as pricing, so on Dell.com, this is the current generation. They've had this for a couple of years, so I'm guessing they'll have something new soon. But as of today, as far as I know, this is the current generation screen that they offer. And Dell.com, I think, has it for just over $800, like $829.99 or something along those lines. The best case scenario, looking at eBay, if you want to buy this used, putting this on your desk is typically going to cost you somewhere between $450 and $500, depending on shipping, depending on overall quality of the individual item, A, B, B minus, C, that kind of thing, and just the deal that you're able to find. So somewhere $450 on the average to low, and $500 on the average to high. I paid $200 for this monitor. So I saw this a couple of days ago, and I was like, nah. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, when these deals come along, typically when it rains, it pours, and it's pouring right now, and I've got the money to support the pouring, so I'm gonna grab the deals while they're good, because sometimes I'll get tons of deals, and then there won't be any good deals for quite a while. So I figured get the deals while they're here to be had. So. Or maybe everyone's just broke and I'm going to get inundated with deals and I'm going to feel stupid when I find one for $100. that's okay, because I need another one now. So let's take a look. So a couple of cool things with this. It is bright. I think I read somewhere this is like 500 nits or something, which is a pretty bright screen. I think average screens are like 250, 300, something like that. So it's a pretty darn bright screen. It's got a nice mount, goes up, it goes down, it does a few other things, but I'm not going to use it on the mount. That mount's coming off, and I don't know if you can see behind me on the wall here. So I had a 27-inch 4K, an older Dell 4K, 27 IPS, and I'm replacing, actually, this monitor right here is gonna go here. That was the primary because that was the nicer screen. In some ways it still is. That one's a faster screen, but this one's a little bit higher quality. So this one's gonna become the primary where that one's sitting, and then that ultra wide right there is gonna go in the corner there, which will fit. It'll be a perfect little like rounded corner thing. It'll be nice, be awesome. Let's see if I can show you any of the other stuff with this. If I can get it to do it. I tried to put the cabling on here so I could flip it. So the cool thing I like about Dell monitors is they always do, Dell does good monitors. They do good monitors on their laptops. They do good monitors on just desktop monitors. They just do good monitors. So I just like their monitors. One of the things I like about Dell actually is this. So let's see, can you see it? I might need to move this. There we go. So Dell does this thing on most of their monitors where they do down-facing ports. I really like that. I find it easier to manage that, and from a safety standpoint for the monitor, it's better because there's nothing hanging, there's nothing sticking straight out the back to hit against. And the other advantage of that too is that if you're wall mounting these, it gives you the ability to put it closer to the wall. Because if you have the ports sticking all the way out, it's like that much more space that you need. So I really love the way Dell configures this. The LGs are not that way, and most of my monitors are LG. So I think the new one, I think this one might be that way. I'll have to look though, but I do believe it's a generally superior design. So as you can see, you could use this on its original mount. You could use this in vertical. I've done it before. It's useful if you're doing maybe some types of spreadsheets, depending on your data set. It might be useful. The thing I find it useful for, being the absolute basic lazy user I am, it's great for a music playlist. So if you have a massive music playlist, having it vertical like this is kind of nice. It's stupid, but it's nice. This one isn't going to be used that way. I need this for editing type work. Most of the YouTube video stuff that I edit is probably going to start being edited on this. So, yeah. So basically, a new at one quarter approximately of what this would cost retail is what I got, and about a little under half. Oh, and I didn't mention. So the story on this one, the reason why this guy sold the monitor for $200 is that, so when I initially messaged him, we got to talking, and I decided that I wanted the monitor, and just before we made a commitment to buy, he informs me, oh yeah, there's a scratch on it, a big scratch. Is that going to be a problem for you? And I said, well, maybe. In that case, I'm gonna have to see it in person. It depends. It just depends. You guys know how it is with scratches on LCDs. It just depends. Depends on how it is, specific depth, how it's positioned, the composition of the scratch. Some scratches you can't see them when the monitor's in use. Some you can. It just depends. So I told him, I said, I'm gonna have to look at it and make a decision on site. I'm sorry, I can't give you a definite yes or no. He said, okay, that's fine. So we agreed to meet up today. I got it, and as advertised, there was a scratch, and it was medium-sized. So I tried to get him down, but he was already half what normal used was, so he figured that was fair compensation. And I did look at it, and it was only very, very lightly visible when turned on and in use. So I said, okay, fine, whatever, I'll deal with it. It's you know, putting something like this on my desk, especially since this was one I was considering buying anyway, doing it for cheap, and then having a good idea what I'm getting before deciding to drop some money down on a perfect one, I figured what the heck, might as well. So anyway, I buy the monitor, get it home. First thing I do with the new monitor is I clean it, right? Well, big surprise. I clean the monitor, and this turns out to be one of those scratches where the scratch went in very, very lightly and dug up the material, kind of like when you see on a cut in your hand where you can see the skin on each side kind of peeled back. It was one of those type ones, and once I cleaned it off, it left only a super faint, the absolute faintest hairline level of scratch that is 100% invisible in normal usage. You cannot see it. Even if you look for it, you cannot see it. If you get right up next to it with the panel turned on, you cannot see it. So this screen, functionally speaking, is as good as new. If I went to sell it, no one would be able to see the scratch, and it would have effectively zero effect on resale. So I got basically a $500 monitor for $200. And I mean, that was just luck of the draw, I was fully expecting to get home and have paid $200 for a $500 monitor with a minor damage on it. And it turns out I got a perfect monitor. So again, deals to be had. So always watch for your deals, and sometimes you just got to take a risk, So anyway, I hope you guys found this interesting, and thanks for watching the video.